Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another Obby Creator video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how you can make a JToH tower in Obby Creator, because the last Obby Creator video, which actually did really well, so I'm hoping this one will too, was how to make a JToH ring in Obby Creator, where I told you how you could make something like this. But I didn't exactly go too in-depth of how to make an actual tower itself, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. If you want to make it like a tall tower and not have to do a whole bunch of wacky frame stuff, you're probably going to want at least the More Space Game Pass. In fact, everything on this Obby slot was built, like at the moment, was built before I bought the More Height. So with just the More Space, you can get all the way up to like here. Well, yeah, I think, yeah. That's if you're doing these mini towers like I'm doing with the 30 by 30 frame things. Otherwise, you can do the 25 by 25 frame parts because that doesn't involve as much waiting for money, and you don't have to worry about the height limit as much. And doing a wacky frame tower isn't too bad, just if every tower in the ring is like that, that might look kind of weird. And then, of course, like I always say, advanced tools is really useful because you can get the music. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and create a new thing. So the first thing you want to do is create a portal. So the tower I'm going to make for this video is going to be intense, and it's going to be an advanced towers. First, I got to increase my part limit again, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and copy this one. I'm going to show you how you can make your own portal from scratch. So hold on. Okay, I extended this out a bit. So anyway, you want to make like the back of it, you want to have a 2x6 right here and another 2x6 over here. Then you want a 2x2 wedge, and you want them to be 6 studs apart from each other, the two thingies here, and a 6x1 here. Now you're going to want these two wedges, which will make the curved shape of it look better, which are going to be just 2x1s wedges. Then you need these things, which are 2x4x2 wedges. Then someone in the comments actually told me that these circles are called emblems and that they're different for every ring, so I had no idea. And that they're also supposed to be one stud, not half a stud, but I'm too lazy to go back and fix all of them. So yeah, make sure that this is one stud, and also make sure it has reflectance 1. So then the portal color, of course, is going to be the difficulty, so this part. So for me, it's going to be intense. Then the portal frame color should be the color of the first floor of the tower. We're going to keep this green for just a minute until I actually get the frame down, but then you want to come up with a name. So I'm actually going to name it Tower of YouTube Tutorials. Okay, how about Tower of Video Tutorials? Thank you. Okay, I'll leave the under construction thing there because it is under construction, and then make sure it says bye and then whatever your name is. Unfortunately, you can't do your full name because it likes to tag it. Well, it won't tag it at first if you try to do that, but every time you reload the Obby, then you're going to have to type it in again, and that's going to be a pain. So just type in something close enough to it. Okay, so yeah, the thing is going to be intense, but we also need the thing over here on the difficulty chart. So let's go ahead and copy this one. Let's clone this and high intense, and then not Tomos, it's going to be Tower of VT. There we go. Now you want to actually create the thing for it. Also, another side note you can do for saving money is just make a giant part out of, like, every time don't let it get to cash limit, just keep dumping it into a random part. Then whenever you need it, you can just size it down or sell it to be able to buy whatever big part you're trying to do. But, you know, I haven't even built anything on here in a while because I haven't increased my part limit in forever, so that's why I just gave up on doing that. But I have a ton of money in there if I need it. So we're not gonna sculpt the bottom of the island at the moment. But yeah, so now we're going to go Control C to clone this. Let's make sure you can't like jump into this tower from that tower crossing. We'll just put it right there. That's a good spot. Now we need to get oh, by the way, everything should be cast shadow false. Otherwise the lighting is going to be terrible. But let's go ahead and make sure that this is 30 by 30. Make sure it's studs too. So what color am I going to make it? And since it's like YouTube tutorials, let's make it go from red to white, I guess. So we'll make it start at this color, I suppose. No, how about this color? There we go. So just keep cloning this. And yes, mine are 30 by 30. Yours can be 25 by 25. So let me go ahead and create this first floor. And then the window thing, which I guess you can choose which one you want to be the window. I'm going to do this one, but yeah, you probably want it to be one that's like going into the center. But anyway, just make the part be transparency 0.6. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and get the whole frame. To make a new floor, just select the 4 thingies and then go Control C or hit this. Oh, not enough cash. Okay, so let's go ahead and get enough out. So yeah, do the control click or whatever to select all of them, but not the bottom, because you don't want another like bottom thingy. But yeah, so then select another color. If for whatever reason it's on just some random color, just do the eyedropper and select the previous floor, then go to another thing, another color that you want. So I'm gonna go with this color. There we go. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and create the full frame. And actually, so this isn't at the exact same level of Tower of Darkening Dreams, which is that one. I'm gonna lower it down a bit so that like the variety of the thing stays a bit better. There we go. Now that we have our 8 floors, I like to do 8 floor towers, but yeah, you can, and yeah, without the more height game pass and just the more space, 8 floor towers are the best. I suppose you could do with the 30 by 30. So mine are 8 floors, even though the traditional like tower frame is 10, but whatever. Actually, I would not recommend building the entire frame and then building the obby inside of it, because that means you're gonna have to wait a whole bunch to get the thing. What I suggest doing is just getting enough to get the frame, the first floor, build that, then while you're building, because honestly, when you're just building an obby, it doesn't, you don't like spend money. Like when you're just building an obby, you usually don't spend money faster than you're earning it, which you earn it just by playing, but dump it into this thing, into your large part with all your money. And then each time you need a new floor, just go ahead and create that, or get the money out of here if you need it. And then just work your way up to floor 8. Okay, so now that we have the thingies there, the frame color, we can go ahead and set this to the color we want it to be. Select all the frame color parts, and you don't actually have to change the color of the emblems because they reflect into one, so they look exactly the same, but I'm going to anyway. So there we go, we do the eyedropper, and now we have it as this color. Okay, so now let's get into the actual obby. So like I said, this is going to be high intense, so basically remorseless. I'm going to make the floor of here be a kill brick, so obviously can collide, or cast shadow false, make it can collide true or false depending on what you want. Set its damage to 5, then its color to whatever the frame color is of that floor, and then granite like this. So yeah, that's how you do that. And I'm actually going to make this can collide false, just because I want to. So yeah, you're going to actually spawn over there, in that corner over there. So how about I show you how to do an outside section now. So first decide like where the opening is going to be. How about right about here. So scale this out, or scale it in, or whatever, like that. Now I like to clone the part from here even though it does sometimes throw a fuss about doing that, even though you're going to scale it down because you don't have enough money. But if that's the case, either just wait or just create a new part. So just keep doing this, and there we go. Also, make sure that you get the seams between them to be like the seams between the part to be vertical. You should do that. That way no one can, that way you can't like wall hop. If it were a horizontal seam like this, then you could wall hop across there, and you could possibly do a shortcut like that. But yeah, so if this were an easier tower, I'd probably put a platform right here that you'd land on. Oh, I forgot to mention that the Obby ID, you probably saw it at the beginning, but it's 655503116 #5. Same thing goes for making it go back inside. Then I just put this platform here just so it looks a bit better. Actually, I'm going to go like this. There we go. That looks good. I'll show you now how you can make a how to do different of these like advanced part things. So you saw earlier with the ones down here, you saw how to do the lava, then the conveyor. Of course, you can make it have the arrows enabled, but I didn't right there. Then this goes for my entire JToH ring I've built, but the jump pads, they're the default color that they are anyway, just I make them neon. For fading parts, I keep them the same as the frame color, obviously. Just, I'll make them be like universal if it's an easier tower. If it's a harder tower, like this one, then I won't give any warning. Teleport pads, I don't really use those other than on the portal color, so you can do whatever you want with those, but yeah. And then timed lava, same as lava. Timed part, same as fading, you can make it have a warning or not warning. And then trip part, that I usually make be just inlet. Okay, for moving parts, same, just depends on what it is. That's the granite, that's warning or no warning, same for that. Moving parts, whatever. Push boxes, yeah, you can make that be universal or studs if you want. Whatever you want to do. I think making it universal sometimes helps it look nicer because you can see it a bit better. So, like, I'm going to do a push box section right here. Oh yeah, the respawn parts, those I never use because, like, no, like, why, that's basically an insta-kill, so why would you need that? Except for on push box sections. So to make it be a push box destroyer, just set respawn push parts to true. Then I make it be this RGB, typo. There we go. And it's not granite, so it's not going to look like an insta kill. And you'll probably be able to tell that it's a push box destroyer, given that you can see the push box. To center it, I'm going to go ahead and place it down, and then scale it in like that. There we go. Then whatever color I want to make it, I'll make it be pink. So it's, or purple, whatever color this is. There. Obviously, just place these wherever. Try not to make it too annoying and have like a super tiny space. And then I actually do need to make something that will respawn it if it falls down. That way you don't have to, well, yeah, you'd get soft locked if you did that. I'll put a push box destroyer right along here. That way if it hits the side, then it does get respawned. So let me just make sure it's possible. Obviously this also serves as like a safety net, kind of. It covers up a large portion of this. Okay, I'm actually going to nerf that slightly. Okay, so there are two things you can do with a push box. You can make it so it hits a button, or you make it so that it gives you a boost up. I haven't done any buttons in this yet because I don't think I've even worked on this obby since the button update, just because I haven't felt like increasing my part limit in a while. So yeah, I'll do it with a button this time. So make the button whatever color you want the platforms it activates to be. If it's part of a push box, obviously make it the push box color, because in JToH the push box activated buttons are this, or the push box activated buttons are the same colors as the push box because the way it's like color coded. Don't make it studs. I did there for a second because I wasn't really thinking, but yeah, I like to make it metal, and there is the actual button texture you can put on it. It's the one that's used in JToH towers, but I think that kind of looks bad. You can only put one special effect on any single part, so you could only put it on one side, so obviously you'd probably want to do it on the top, but I don't think it looks that good if you do that, so I prefer to just make it be metal. And I'm also lazy, so I don't want to go grab the decal. Because for some reason when you go to your favorites now on your Roblox page, it doesn't, like, it only shows your favorite places. You don't have the option to go view your favorite, like, faces or audios or decals anymore for some reason. And I wish they would change that back. You can still do that with inventory, though. Yeah, and then, of course, make sure that player activated is false and pushback activated is true. And I wouldn't suggest putting a timer because that doesn't really do anything, because like you just come here and like push it away and push it back into it again, and then it'll reset the timer. So yeah. Anyway, when you hit that button, it's going to activate. How about it activates a truss over here? So let's go ahead and grab this and put it right here, and onto the next floor we go, even though not in the same way I normally would say that, because it's not like, I don't know, whatever. So, oh yeah, we gotta actually bind the thing. So since it's going to be appearing when the push box hits the button, transparency 1 can collide false prior to that, then go ahead and do that. There we go. Let's go ahead and reset so the buttons go back. Yeah, so let me test that out. There we go. It appears just right. Let me go ahead and make that much higher so that you can't just use the box to cheat and just, you know, like jump on the box onto the platform, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is floor number 4. So what you had to do, like moving parts, I guess. So let's suppose you want to have a moving part that goes from like right here over to there. So obviously just scale it down. And then, easing style, I think exponential looks the best if you do it like this. There, actually, hold on, let me place it right there. Okay, there we go. So now I just jump onto the sphere. Let's do a glitch, let's make it so you have to do a glitch. Cause yeah, in like Intense Plus towers, you can do glitches like corner clipping, I guess. How about we do a corner clip onto an outside section? Conveyors, they're pretty self-explanatory, obviously, but I'll go ahead and show them anyway. So, set the colors, or whatever, the way you want them to. Then the speed. The default speed is 20, which is this fast. If you didn't already know, a Roblox avatar's default walk speed is 16. So if you set this to 16, then as long as you're aligned completely perfectly, I am not moving at all. So if you're running against it. If it's unmarked and it's something like this, I suggest putting it at like 8. That way you actually give the player time to react, unless you want to be really, really evil. But obviously if you are having it marked, then you can put it at, how about 18? There you go. That's a little faster. So we'll put a few of these, I guess. The maximum speed of a conveyor in Obby Creator is 200. Or no, is 100. So if I try to put it at anything higher than that, then I'll do that. These are marked, so we can go ahead and put them at like 18. So yeah, this will be what you do right there. If you want to have a momentum jump like this, then what you should do is, let's go ahead and go back up here. Let's add a part to actually stand on. So make it whatever size you want. I'll make it be a 4x8. Actually no, I'm gonna do a 4x6. There. Then I'll go ahead and mark it. I'll mark all conveyors on this outside section. Obviously the different speeds will determine how far the player gets launched. Well, if it's shorter like this, then then the player doesn't have as much time to accelerate, so they won't get launched as far. But yeah, we'll have it like this. Another thing is that while you're making it, like while you're actually making the tower, don't worry about matching the difficulty like perfectly. You can always go back and nerf and buff some jumps. So anyway, that's what I have right there. You get launched onto there, so you gotta do it sideways like this. Perfect. now what? For jump pad, you should first obviously make the like platform that the jump pad is going to actually be on, like so. And then now just take the jump pad and place it on top. Now what I like is to have it so that to have like in all of this thing, in all of my JToH ring, I have it so that the jump pads, they are the default color that they are, but they're neon. So that way it's like this. Okay, so you have 150 and then you get bounced over to here. So yeah, and of course if you miss it, you will probably land right here or something, and then you just then you can just try again like that. Okay, I do need to keep in mind not to have any outside sections that like come close right here, because otherwise you'll just be able to shortcut up to them. How about we go back into the tower right here? So to do that, we will just do this. Just make the frame go like this, and then there we go. Now obviously we want more than just that on these floors, because that's like nothing. So we're gonna make it set. Okay, here's what I'm actually going to do. So we're going to put this up there, then we're going to make it so you jump onto the top of this. Okay, so what you're gonna do now is just jump down onto there like that, and then obviously that's not possible at the moment, so I'm gonna show you how to do a trip part. I mean, obviously it's pretty simple, but just set the colors however you want them, like that. Actually, no. I like to make all trip parts in my JToH ring be inlet. So yeah, keep in mind it basically doesn't like make the player fall unless it's like slanted. So like you could see it was just like sitting me on top of it. Actually, I think it might knock you off if you're right on the edge, then it'll knock you off. But if it's slanted, it'll knock you off either way, like this. So yeah, obviously the way to pass that is just to hold space. So you just treat it like a falling or like a fading platform or a falling platform, whatever. So now you go down here. Yeah, so that's a push box button. You saw how I did that. But to do a regular button, let's set it how we want it. This color seems good. So we're going to want a like main path and then a side path that takes you to where the button is. So have it be out here somewhere. I'll position it in a minute. So when you hit the yellow button, these half studs will appear, and then you can progress. So we'll build what's after this in just a second. But before that, we're going to build another parkour section over to the button. So obviously we're going to have to like open up a door to the outside section. Okay, so you go outside of here. I don't believe there's any way you can cheese this. Okay, well you can wall hop from right here over to there, but that literally skips like 2 jumps. Yeah, 2 jumps it skips. By the way, those they are the same color as that. It's just that's metal, so it appears that's the metal texture, so it appears a little bit different. Oh, speed sections. I'll show you how to do that, I suppose. Yeah, so we'll start off with a couple 1-stud jumps. There we go, and you can hit your head right there, but that's fine. Yeah, actually now that I think about it, this is probably like way easier than intense difficulty, but yeah, like I said, I can go and buff a bunch of stuff. Okay, so for a speed section, let's go ahead and create like the starting platform like this. There we go. And now place down the speed pad wherever you want it. So in my JToH ring, the speed pads, they're this color right there and neon. Yeah, and the speed deactivators are this color, which is just the default color. You just gotta make sure you set the walk speed to 16. So they're still a speed pad, just they set it to 16 speed, which of course is the default Robloxian speed. So if you're going to make a speed section, a thing you need to keep in mind is actually make it so you need the speed, because, like for example, if you had, a bunch of 1-studs at a speed section, which are really hard actually, with speed, and that was like the challenge of it. That's quite hard, so it probably wouldn't be on a tower of this difficulty, like of high intense difficulty. But let's suppose you were going to do that. Make sure that you start with a jump that like you actually need for that you actually need speed in order to do, or at least you have some jump somewhere in the section. So make sure we have like a 15 stud jump right here, and then I'll delete this. This is just so that I can measure the distance of it. There you go. It's not that hard actually, because of course you have speed. But yeah, now that should be impossible without speed. This is not going to be a speed section with 1 studs, so I don't really need to have this like mandatory get the speed thingy, but you know, just for like tutorial sake, I'll leave that there. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make small platforms. Well, not that small. Actually, I'm going to make it so that it's like a speedrun 4 kind of. So it's going to be like this. So, you know, just platforms like this. Okay, we'll put the button right here. Okay, when you come back, you're going to hit the speed deactivator, which is going to span across these 1 studs. Okay, so that does mean you have to land on a 1 stud with speed. So I'm gonna make this final one be a 2x2 platform. Actually, no, 2 by 1.5. There, because this needs to actually be high intense difficulty. There, so it's connected, but I need to make sure that time is 0, like that. And yeah, I just connected the things to there, and make objects visible. That's the default one anyway. But yeah, I actually got to set the normal ones of the reset, so all the buttons reset, and set transparency 1, can't collide false on these. There. So now, just to test it out, you hit the button, the things activate, you go back inside, you do the half studs, and boom. Okay, hold on. We want it so that it deactivates your speed if you do fall. That way you can't do something like you use the speed and jump down to here, and then complete the tower from here with speed, even if it's hard, but then you can just take a whole bunch of shortcuts, and that would not be good. So we're going to put an invisible speed deactivator just so it doesn't look bad. So take our speed pad, set the speed correct, cast shadow false, transparency 1, and can't collide false actually, so that you don't just like fall through it, or since you can't actually stand on it. So when you're going to make something like this where it's a huge thing that's spanning, when it's like if you're doing a huge thing that it doesn't, okay. So we can tell that the Y size of this doesn't even matter at all. So that means if we were to span it all the way across here, it would be really expensive. Set your alignment to 0.05, then scale it all the way down like that, because we don't care about how big it is on the Y axis. So let's just span it all the way across here. This might actually be a little more than I really need, but whatever. So that means, that means in the event that you try to do this, your speed does get deactivated, and yeah, now you just lost a bunch of progress. So yeah, okay, basically that's what you want to keep in mind for a speed section. Just make sure it does deactivate if you fall, and that there's no way to do any like cheeses like that. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do the button speedrun thing. I don't know if it has an actual name, but okay. So you need a button, of course. Then you just need to place it somewhere, and then pick your color. I'll make it be this color. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and make it so to make like more use of these floors around here, we're gonna make it so that the player has to jump down to right here, and let's make sure it's the correct color right there. So here's how to make a ladder or truss flick. I don't even know if I really need to put this in here, but anyway, here's how to do it. Put 2 trusses like this, and then a thing in between them. Then that way the player has to flick. Or you can do it with a ladder like this. You can do another thing like this, where you have to flick over to here, flick up, and then flick over here. Let's not bind the button to it just yet. Let's check to make sure. Let's time how long it takes. This takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It takes about 11 seconds, and I just had to count that like 50 times because I kept failing that. So I'm actually going to set it to like 12. Maybe that'll fit the difficulty, maybe it won't. That's what I'm about to check, and then I can change it accordingly. Okay, so I had a couple seconds left right there. I think that's good for this difficulty. It is slightly hard because you have these half studs that you can fail sometimes. Also, when you're doing a speedrun section like this, don't make it too long because a button can only be connected to 30 different parts. Okay, so you hit the button, and then you gotta speed run across here and not fail. We'll pretend that you didn't see anything right there. Okay, but actually I need to verify that that is possible. Okay, there we go. It has been verified to be completely possible. Okay, so anything I missed? Heal parts. Those you don't really need to use if you're building a hard tower. Like, the only towers I used them in were this tower and this tower, which are this one, which is high medium, and this one, which is mid hard. I liked to keep mine at the default color. Here's some of them. I like to keep them at the default color, but set them to neon, and then set health per seconds to 10. Button deactivator, there's nothing much to say about them. They just deactivate all the buttons when you touch them. As of right now, there's no way to select which buttons you want to deactivate. Here is the time lapse, because, I mean, I don't have anything else to explain. Okay, so let's add the beat blocks. So obviously you're going to need your timed part, and then make sure you have the colors and everything set. Now you want to decide your timed time. I'll set it to 1. I think it's best if you space them out equally, so we'll do 10 studs snapping. Make sure you have your beat blocks placed how you like them. Now, obviously, this is going to be impossible unless you do some crazy speedrun thing or something. So, we'll go ahead and make them universal, just so that the player is warned, even though they can probably tell anyway. But anyway, it'll look a bit nicer. When making a beat block section, timed offset is the setting you want to use. So, just set that to whatever the timed time is, and that'll get it so that they alternate like this. And then, of course, the strategy for doing it is just get a rhythm in your head. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. There we go. Just like that. There we go. We'll put this truss here. You gotta wrap around to it, jump onto here. There we go. So then the final jump will be an 11 stud jump without a safety net. I don't know how I just failed that, even though those are so easy. There you go. So a final 11 stud jump with no safety net. So now, of course, we get the wind pad. For me, I have my wind pads as this color. This color right here. Just that and neon, and then they're just teleport pads over into the wind room, which is over there. If I just clone one of the things from another area, then yeah, it'll be fine because the teleport location stays the same. There we go. So that is the tower, but that's not everything. So design is another factor you want to think about. Design can come in different ways. So usually if you're going to make like a design heavy tower, you're going to want to do lots of like color stripe things. For example, like this, you can do something like that on all the platforms, or at least most of them. That way it'll add a little bit of extra detail to it, so it looks nicer. Then another thing that really makes trusses look amazing is put a neon block inside of them. That's super easy to do. So like, let's say you have a truss like this. I usually keep my alignment at 0.5, so let's just make it green or whatever. So yeah, just place down your truss and then come back here and size the part so that it's inside of the truss with the same dimensions. 5 alignment, then just hold control while scaling it so it'll go in both directions, and then go like that in all 3 axes. Yeah. Then just clone the color and set it to neon. There you go, and that makes it look really nice. But I'm way too lazy to do all that design at the moment. What I will do, though, is add a little YouTube logo on the frame. So what I'm going to do is go add an image on here and set it to the correct like face. Then I'm just going to paste in a decal ID on the Roblox library. So this is, yeah, that's the ID if you want to use this exact one for whatever reason. But yeah, there you go. So I added this on all the 3 sides right here. So that looks really nice in my opinion. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get the not recommended for mobile on here. So just set the color to that color. I don't think that's the correct color, but I don't care. Wall glitching required. There we go. So, obviously if there were multiple glitches, I'd just put them all right there. But this is not teleporting you to the correct position, and I want it to teleport you right to there. So let's go ahead and test that out. There we go. So when you step through, you go in here. What I like to do for music, for which floors, since the floors are super short, it'd be kind of annoying to have it change like every 2 seconds. You have the first 4 floors have one song, then you have floors 5 through 8 have a different song, and I can go ahead and show you how you can make it so that it'll transition back into the song when you fall. So first of all, right where you get teleported, you're going to want one music part. Then you'd paste in the ID. So when you hit the first jump of floor 5, which would be this, that's where you first enter floor 5. I'm going to put the music part right on top of these trusses. When you hit these trusses, it's going to switch into the next song. And yeah, you won't, that's non-collidable, so yeah. Then of course if you fall, we're going to want it to change back. So we're going to do something similar to what I did with the speed pad. This is the final jump that you will have the floor 1 through 4 music on. Everything else will have the rest of the thing on there. So do the trick I said before, which will make you not have to spend a zillion money on it. Just scale it down to 0.5 on the Y axis. Then just scale it all the way across all of this. There we go. And now the music should change back. I'll obviously test that like off camera. So that's pretty much everything I think I could go over while teaching you how to do this. So that's like all the basics you'd need to know for like all these different things and then the moving parts. Now I will show you the final product. Yeah, I just went back and buffed a couple of things so that it's actually intense difficulty or high intense. I hope it's close enough. That's how to make a JToH tower in Obby Creator. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated as always. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.